It was a stunning lawsuit against hip-hop icon Sean Diddy Combs, triggering headlines earlier this month.
Now the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, the rapper and music mogul, is accused of sexual assault.
His former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie, demanding $30 million over allegations of rape, abuse, even sex trafficking.
When the headlines came out about Diddy, just the amount of information and detail and allegations were jaw-dropping, to say the least.
Cassie, Sean on the right. Sean, a quick solo.
But it was just one of an avalanche of lawsuits, many hitting high-profile men, thanks to New York State's groundbreaking sexual assault statute. Combs settling out of court the very next day. His legal team later saying in a statement to ABC News, Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Ms. Ventura the best.
This is not an admission of guilt. This could just be the cost of doing business, that he wants to settle and move on even though these allegations are false, or they're true. And he doesn't want to go through the discovery process, and so it's better to settle and move on than to go through the loss, not only financially, but also in the court of public opinion.
And as the deadline for New York's adult survivors law was set to expire, two other women suing Combs. Others suing actor Jamie Foxx, Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, and current New York City Mayor Eric Adams, all accused of sexual abuse from incidents years prior.
It's absolutely not true. I would never do anything to harm anyone.
All the men denying the allegations against them in statements. Those new claims of old offenses only made possible by the New York Adult Survivors Act, signed by Governor Kathy Hochul last year, which expired at midnight, November 23rd, Thanksgiving.
What Governor Hochul in New York State did was say, you know what? Just for a year, this will be the middle ground, so to speak, to allow these claims to come forward, but not open the barn door, so to speak, to allow all claims to come in forever.
The Adult Survivors Act opened a one-year window for victims of sexual abuse to file lawsuits in civil court against their abusers, regardless of when the alleged crimes took place.
Survivors have 1 year to take action.
It doesn't matter if it was your coach,
Your cab driver, your doctor.
But the law had further reach, bringing forth thousands of claims of abuse, exposing systemic malaise across society, from spas to airports to hospitals, even prisons.
There are many people who were afraid to bring sexual harassment claims against their harassers because of the power dynamic that existed.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump's legal team claiming it made more than 1,700 filings against New York prisons.
It is such an ordeal for them to finally come forward because they are so distrustful of the system. They think that they have no voice, they have no power.
Crump represents Mia Wheeler, one of those alleged victims. I spoke with her last year.
It is hard to make a positive turnaround when you are being subject to sexual abuse. It plays on your mental, it takes your focus off of everything.
Wheeler says she was in her 20s when she was sexually assaulted repeatedly by a prison guard in New York's Bedford Hills Correctional Facility.
When he would walk past my cube, if nobody was there and it was a mealtime, he would come in and peek in and say, hey, you know what time it is.
What did he mean by that?
That it was time to have sex, or time for me to perform a sex act on him.
Tell me about how this affected you.
Physically repulsed and turned off, but during the acts, just having to tune out. I just wanted it to be over. The only thing I knew is that as long as I come home, I can bury it. Get out of prison, get off of parole, and go on with your life. That's it.
Now, almost 20 years after leaving prison, Wheeler is waiting to have her day in court. Wheeler is among at least 900 formerly incarcerated people who came forward, saying they were allegedly sexually abused in state prisons.
See, you never really know the anger that can build up. The feeling of not being in control, the feeling of feeling less than, holding a dark secret and not being able to tell anybody. It's ruined my life.
U.S. federal law and nearly all states, including New York, criminalize any sexual relations between staff and inmates. In a statement to ABC News, the New York Department of Corrections and Community Supervision refused to comment on possible or pending litigation, but said in part, DOCS has zero tolerance for sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and unauthorized relationships. The department thoroughly investigates all reports of sexual victimization, including unauthorized relationships and retaliation against individuals who report incidents or cooperate with those investigations. Wheeler is asking for $20 million in damages for the pain and suffering, injuries, and expenses she sustained as a result of the alleged abuses. New York State requires a monetary claim for all damages. But beyond financial compensation, Wheeler says that sharing her story has been part of her path to healing.
I could not continue to be an incomplete woman, a broken person, a hurt soul, because hurt people hurt people.
At least 3,700 lawsuits were filed in the year the New York Adult Survivors Act was active. There are calls for the law to be extended or made permanent, but that requires new legislation from the state chamber.
Hopefully, this law has taught society a lesson. Anytime we can give victims a voice, it is a good thing for society. But we feel that there are thousands that were left behind.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.